Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. We are talking Amazon FBA again. We'll get to going in just a couple of minutes. I'm coming off another session, frantically changing all the windows over. So we just finished up talking about startups. So we'll be talking about Amazon FBA for the next hour. You've got me for an hour and a half, as long as you like. There'll be Q&A as well. We're on junglebooster.com/live. If you want to chat in the box there, I've just updated so we're able to put our names and things in there and let us know where you're coming in from. I'll jump over to me in just a sec. Tonight we're talking about product selection, Amazon FBA. My name is Nathan. We'll get going in just a couple of secs. So if you're interested in getting into the chat and doing a bit of Q&A as well, we are over at junglebooster.com/live. See you in just a sec. Hi again, everyone. Welcome back. For those that were on the other session with me, I've just jumped over here as well. Sorry for that flippy flop across the other side of the internet. But I haven't changed my shirt. I'm still in the same shirt. My name's Nathan. We are talking Amazon FBA tonight. I see a couple of people coming in. So g'day. If you've just come over from the other session, thank you. If you're new here, g'day. We are talking Amazon FBA. My name's Nathan, and we'll get underway in just a sec. If you're watching this on the replay, say g'day in the chat box, and I'll pick you up later on. If you are watching live, junglebooster.com/live, you can jump on the chat there as well. As I said, my name's Nathan. We are jumping into Amazon FBA tonight. I'm going to tell you how to pick your first product. We have a framework for getting you from what is Amazon FBA right through to, hey, I've got lots of sales and this is awesome and it's fourth quarter, which is kind of where I am sitting with one of my products at the moment. So I'll take you through everything to get yourself up and running. And this time next year, you'll be flying, I'm sure. But you can get yourself up and running in a couple of weeks running on Amazon. So I'll go through some product selection stuff tonight. I've also got a few ninja tips to get you actually some sales in the next 48 hours as well. So even if you don't have a product up there. So a few tips for you this evening. And I'm going to have a presentation. I'll share with you a couple of slides so I can show you the visual learners amongst us how I put all this together. So I'll just pull back to the slides now. Say g'day in the chat box, junglebooster.com/live. We run a meetup every week, every fortnight in person, every week online. So these sessions are online. It is a little late. I know it's midnight over East, so I do apologize for that, but you can watch us on the replay at junglebooster.com/replay as well. The replays are up for a couple of days. I'm just going to share across my screen there. Hopefully that's coming through for you now. So my plan is to get you launched with your first or your next product up on Amazon using the latest tools, tips, tricks that I've learned and learned from others along the way. So in this session, this is kind of lesson one of what I'm using as the rapid startup method of getting your products to Amazon. There's 7 lessons in total, the 7th one being launch. Lesson 1 is product selection. So right back at the start, even if you have no idea, some of the do's and big don'ts around product selection, some tips and tools to help. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to give you some of the behind the scenes of my new product as well. Last week was our first of these sessions. As you can tell from my voice, we are in Australia. So Amazon FBA is apparently coming to Down Under, which is very exciting. They've picked a spot to have their first warehouses and stuff. We did talk about what FBA is, so we'll do a quick recap of that if you are new here. We touched on where you can get your products and things like that as well, and some tools and tips. In some of our future sessions, there are 7 steps to launching your product. This is the lesson 1 tonight, 6 more to follow. So around about Christmas time is when we'll be launching. So that's the kind of idea around how long it will take to get through all of these sessions. You can jump on these as a replay as well, or you can grab one of the sessions on the page as well if you want to have a chat about how you can launch this a lot faster. So some of the other sessions we talk about creating and optimizing your listing. and we talk about a little bit about what a listing is tonight. Building a launch list, which is the kind of the required way of going around getting your product launched these days. I touch on a little bit about why that's a requirement these days instead of just a add-on. There was some ninja ways you could do it before, but those have all been clamped down. I'll touch on what that is tonight as well. Product packaging and logos, one of our future sessions as well. Managing shipments to FBA, so how do you get product from wherever it is to be up and listed in Amazon, and how to launch to actual sales. So you guys will actually get to watch me launch my product. So each of these sessions I'll be doing the actual work on what I'm doing with my product, so you can follow along. Whether it actually launches to sales or flops, you guys will be the first to know. So when I was talking about launch lists before, the old way, which was kind of really skirting around the terms of service with Amazon to get your product up ranked, and by ranked I mean selling and in front of people, up the listings on the front page and things like that, when people did a search, was to pay for or get incentivized reviews. So if you've got lots of reviews, people buying, it's effectively playing with how Amazon does a ranking for their products. So you're playing around with Amazon's algorithm in the background by using services. So there were a bunch of services out there that would say, hey, we'll review your product. You give it to us for free and I'll put up this awesome review. I got a really good review rating. The review will stick up there. It'll make your product look awesome. And you just need to give it to me for free, or you just need to give it to me for 50% off, or you just need to pay me $5 and I'll leave you a 5-star review, all that sort of stuff. So that was the Wild West, and it is over to the real list building, the real internet marketing. You find the people that want, like, need your product or service, and you gather those together, you warm them up with content, and then you trickle them over to the products. So it's a little bit of a slower start. It's a little bit of a bummer. So that, as I said, the Wild West is over, but I think it does make it easier for smaller players. And it's the real brands that build around these lists that actually survive. All right. As we say every week, and what we say on our other meetup as well, is you need to start with your why. So if you're thinking, hey, this product over here is selling millions and millions and millions of things, why don't I just get into the silicone spatula oven mitt garlic press product niche? That'll be me for sure. I guarantee it'll be hard work and it will feel like a job. But if you can get into something you enjoy, so let's say you are into adult coloring, maybe that might be your thing. You love it no matter what, even if when the going gets tough in your business, you're still working on something you really love. So if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. All right, quick recap from last week. We talked about my word of the year, which was focus. So I spent the majority of this year working on my Amazon business. It isn't my number one business, but it was a brand new part of my business. And it's completely opened up my eyes to the world of physical products and the world of fulfilling a market need. So I'm all about this at the moment. I think Amazon is an amazing platform to launch a physical product on, to do product research, to do market research. It's just fantastic. It's a massive marketplace full of data, and most of that data is available to you. So it is awesome. So what is fulfillment by Amazon? So in a normal e-commerce or product type thing, you would find product at a manufacturer, you would get it sent to you, you would warehouse it, you'd build yourself an online store or a physical premise. You would try and find customers, you'd get them in there, you'd have salespeople, you'd have to do customer returns, you'd have to pack everything up, you'd need registers or credit card payments or all that sort of stuff, and then you'd have to deal with returns. If you have a look at the Amazon model, you'll find your product, whether it's selling or already, and you're just sort of relabeling, which is probably not the smartest way to start, but it can be as simple as that. And you send it off to Amazon's warehouse, and pretty much once you've sent it off, Amazon deals with everything else. So they'll store it. They've got the biggest online store. They'll drive the traffic. They pay for ads to your listings for you. You can pay as well, but they do their own advertising and they do really good at it. Go Google a product now, and I guarantee the top 3 listings will be eBay and Amazon. So it does really well. Amazon pick, pack, and ship. So they've got robots in these warehouses that know exactly where your product is. They can get it in a box, in a beautiful Amazon box, safely packed, shipped off, and usually to a customer's door within 2 days all around the US, which is amazing. And they also handle any of the issues between this sale and this customer. So any of the tracking, shipping issues, or things got lost or damaged in the way, customers call Amazon. They don't call you. If they're not happy with the product, they call Amazon. If they're not happy with how long it took, they call Amazon. If they're not happy with the color, they call Amazon. So it's amazing. If they have any issues with refunds, they send it back to Amazon. Amazon deal with all of that sort of stuff. This completely blew me away when I first saw it. Obviously, there is a margin in this for Amazon, but for the amount of work, if I could turn around tomorrow and turn all of my products that I have onto Amazon FBA, I would. So why Amazon? A quick recap on how big is this? How many fish are in the sea? So Amazon have 300 million credit cards on last count on file. So this is people that are able to go to an app, find something they like, press a button, and it comes to them in 2 days. Phenomenal. They've reduced the friction on purchasing to like barely noticeable. On Amazon, searches are buyers. If you Google stainless steel, you'll get a Wikipedia entry. If you Amazon search stainless steel, you'll get products, and you'll get sponsored products. People are paying to get in front of these listings with products. Please click my bit and buy it. So why is it a good time to get into Amazon? So Amazon is coming down under. So they will be launching here soon. In the US, only 20% of retail is done online. That's 20% of purchases. That's the world's largest economy, the world's biggest, what's the word for it? Capitalistic loving purchase credit card debt country in the world. Only does 20% online, and that has to be growing at a stupid exponential rate. So it's booming over there. It will boom here. When it comes down under, we're talking a massive disruption. So think about where we buy our things right now. We've got our Harvey Normans and our JB Hi-Fis. We've got our Woolworths and our Bunnings. We've got all those sort of things. Amazon completely changes that. If you could get anything from any of those stores delivered to your door, risk-free, for free, in under 2 days, would you go back to those stores again? I certainly wouldn't. So Amazon coming down under is going to be a game changer. And if you've got products listed up there, you'll be in the top 100 e-commerce businesses in Australia. I guarantee there'll be 100,000 within the first couple of weeks, but if you get ready now, it'll be super easy and you'll be way ahead of the curve. It's definitely going to be a gold rush. And what's the end game? So Amazon businesses are being snapped up. Now these guys, if you're on junglebooster.com/live, this is a presentation you can download. PDF's got all the links in here. So there's an article in here around it coming down under, and there's also an article here from I think it's The Economist, around Amazon businesses being snapped up by big buyers. So people are coming in and actually buying these Amazon businesses. So you launch a couple of products up there and you're seen as a viable target for buyout because it's a cash flow business. And big businesses want cash flow businesses on their books. It helps them. So there is definitely an exit strategy to this business. All right, we're just getting started with these sessions. So big ideas, big plans. These are very much in line with our 7-day startup or our rapid startup meetup group that we have. But I've got a 7-day startup style to launching on Amazon. So it's not exactly 7 days because some of these processes take a little bit longer, but in 7 steps, and usually be a couple of weeks, we can do product research, which is tonight. In a couple of weeks, we'll do finding a supplier and some samples. I want to show you exactly what I've done this week on that. A bit more of an update next week's session, but I'll touch on this tonight. We create a seller account. That's naming your thing. Build a site is creating a listing because Amazon already has our website for us. Keyword research and review list. We're getting that ready for our launch. So that's our marketing. We're going to talk about sales and margins and how much you can actually give away for your promotion. And then when we launch, we do a promotional blast, and that will get us our first rush of sales. Now, it all starts with a keyword. Amazon's built on keywords that get sales. So there's some really cool tools like Merchant Words. Merchantwords.com is free. You can go and check the estimated monthly search volume for products. Chuck the sort of generic terms up in the top, and it'll actually give you different combinations of words for that and potential search results on Amazon. It's a very cool tool. It's very definitely estimate, so I wouldn't hold it to true, but it's very cool. And you'll see that if you go into Amazon, as I said, and type stainless steel or something generic like that, you'll see that people buy stuff. They buy lots of stuff. There's all sorts of things. The top 2, I think these 2 are actually sponsored products. So people are paying to have their products listed up there against that word. They're probably paying a fortune. These guys are only selling their product for $8. They're probably paying $3 or $4 to have it up there. So it's a hot market, definitely a hot market. And stainless steel, everything from bins to wipes to pots and pans to strange rings. So Amazon has everything. And a really cool tool, which I'll cover off in a moment, you can see estimated sales volume just for this keyword. The top 15 items are selling almost $1 million a month. So 672,000 US. That's almost $1 million a month on sales in just those products, which is crazy. So this is what we call a product or a listing on Amazon. So right down to the individual listing. This one actually has sizes, so it's a variation product, but this is what is called a listing or a SKU on Amazon. So each SKU has those sales figures that we saw earlier on. Now, the key items of interest on a listing, when we're talking about an Amazon listing, is up here the title, the seller's name or the brand, and the all-important reviews and stars. Some other points of note is the ASIN. This number down here is the unique identifier for every single product on Amazon. So this is the actual listing number. Those variations are separate again, but the collection of variations for this product is under this ASIN. It might be a little bit confusing, but basically if you want to give a unique identifier to Amazon, if you type amazon.com/and this, you will get this product. So it will always take you to that unique identifier. This will always be unique, and you can use that identifier in other tools as well. So it's handy to know this ASIN, especially for your own product. That's the fastest way to find your product online. Don't tell people how to do that though. People direct to products doesn't give Amazon good indications of where it come from, but for your own stuff and for looking for your competitors and things like that, ASIN's great. For putting it into other tools, ASIN's great as well. And one of the biggest keys to the data available on Amazon is the best seller rank, this BSR. It's so important. This seller rank will help determine where on the pages these items turn up, how high up the page, and how they're found using those keywords. So you'll see this this stainless steel water bottle is ranked 2,262, or the 2,262nd product in sports and outdoors. Now, sports and outdoors is a super category. It's right at the top of the category listings. It's got a whole bunch of subcategories there. So in sports, outdoors, outdoor recreation, camping and hiking, and hydration filter water bottles. So come right down inside the tree. You'll see that it's number 126, which is actually pretty good. There is a lot of water bottles. But if you might find some products categories that have this many and it's sitting quite high, and there might only be 10 products in there. So that's not always the best way to see that ranking. All right, so if you don't have any ideas at the moment, or you're thinking about some of the ideas, or you want some more ideas, think about some of the things you've recently bought. Take note of some of the things that are new around your house or that get used around your house. What are your hobbies? What do you spend money on without even thinking twice? What's something you might buy more than once? So you start noting down some of these things and you might actually come across something, hey, this is something that's really cool. It's something I enjoy. This is something that sells regularly. I can't see people living without this type of thing. Those are the kinds of things that sell on Amazon. I've got some big don'ts as well. Now, some of these are a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but they're meaningful for several reasons. So don't sell garlic presses. Don't sell silicone anything. Don't sell anything barbecue, especially mitts or mats or gloves. Anything mentioned on a podcast, on an Amazon app, on an Amazon course, or on some kind of show, definitely steer clear of. You can be guaranteed that if you want to see something cool, go to junglescout.com and look up the jungle sticks. So Greg Mercer is the owner of that really cool tool that shows you the sales on all the products on Amazon. He recently did a full write-up public case study on some bamboo marshmallow sticks. It is amazing. It's a great crash course on all things Amazon from an absolute great seller. He ended up giving away all of the proceeds to charity. I actually think a couple of people beat him to market, and within a few months, he'd lost heaps of his rank by a whole heap of people just following along. So when people mention stuff in podcasts, people go out and think, oh, I could do that, and they just copy it verbatim. And more than should definitely get out and do that, and you all of a sudden have a whole bunch of competition that might be desperate, that might be trying crazy things that are all happening at the same time, which makes it really difficult. So those things, while they might sound hot, usually they're completely tapped out markets, and it's just impossible to get in there. Another one is sold by Amazon, and I say yet for this one. Things that are sold by Amazon may not have huge competition. They may just have been selling reasonably well for a consistent amount of time. But things that are sold by Amazon usually require a boatload of cash to actually get started. So you might find things that are sold by Amazon have been around for long enough that the competition actually might be quite rife. That's not to say that eventually you might find things that are, or your product might be doing well enough to actually get bought out and be sold by Amazon. So I definitely put a yet on that one. Another one is electronics. If you're just getting started, electronics is one to steer clear of. All sorts of issues around batteries, all sorts of issues around certifications, all sorts of issues around problems and things going wrong with the product, refunds and price, and it's actually quite a hotly contested market as well. So if you are just getting started, I would say steer away from electronics. My first product is electronics, and it flopped. It flopped big time, and it was all of the things that I just mentioned. I kind of got wrong. I actually thought it was simple enough, but batteries. Oh, it's simple enough, but on and off switch was faulty sometimes. Simple enough, the motors went on sometimes. So all of these things cause more than necessary refunds, which hurts your account and your sales. So electronics, steer clear of. Another one is food. There's a whole bunch of liability stuff around that. There's a whole bunch of ungating you need to get done. which means a whole bunch of hoops that Amazon gets you to jump through. I'm having all sorts of trouble getting ungated in 2 categories at the moment. It's not an easy process, and it takes a long time. It shouldn't. It's a simple form and checkbox on Amazon side, but they just drag their heels and disprove willy-nilly all sorts of stuff. So I would steer clear of food if you're just getting started as well. If you're going for a product, you want to check out its sales estimates. The best way to do that is Jungle Scout. You can go and test this yourself using a trick like what's called the 999 trick. So you can actually go into a product and try and tap it out and buy 999 of them, and Amazon will actually return a query that says, hey, there's only 312 of these left. And if you come back tomorrow and do the same thing, and it comes back and says, oh, there's only 300 left. Well, there you know they've sold 12 in a day. So you can keep an eye on things and track it that way, which will take you a lot of time and be quite painful. Or you could just use Jungle Scout, which is a hell of a lot easier. It takes 1 second. It's got a button on Chrome. It'll tell you the sales rank of everything that you can find on every page. Another thing to check when you are looking at products is what is the seasonality of it. So you can use a tool like, I think it's google.com/trends now. I think they changed this on me this week. But you can go to Google Trends and check out what the trend is. So we're using stainless steel cookware as an example here. Each of these bars down the bottom is 2 years. So you'll see it spikes once a year, just before Christmas, just before Christmas, just before Christmas. So there's definitely plenty of traffic that's sitting right up here, but it definitely spikes to twofold pretty much once a year. So is this seasonal? I would say yes. And the second thing to check is pricing. And is there a pricing raw? There is a tool, a really cool tool, another free one called Camel, which will, yes, it's camelcamel.com, which will give you the sales history on price and also rank. I'm not sure if they do rank for free. I think you need to sign up for a free account to get rank these days. There's another tool that I use as well, which you can grab on today's notes down the bottom. You can see what the price was for products. So you put in, as I said, that ASIN from the listing, you put into Camel, and it will tell you when the product launched, so 2012, what it started at, and what its price has been over time. So April it spikes. So maybe it's the bad time of year and they're putting the price up, or it's a good time of year and they're putting the price up, or maybe they're running out of stock. So there's all sorts of things you can see by running your product through this tool. You might find a competition and you might see, oh, they only launched last month, but they're really cheap. But that might mean that they're doing a promotion. So they might be sitting down at, half the price that you would think. Oh, how are they selling it for so cheap? They may have just started. They might be doing a promotion. They might be doing a 50% off promotion to try and drive their sales rank up. All right, we go through a full launch strategy in a couple of weeks, but I just want to give you a quick run through. So you need to have a killer listing. It's absolutely important, imperative that when people land on your product, they have great looking pictures. They understand what the product is. It's just key. It's absolutely key. I would definitely use an importer service to speed up the process and cut out a lot of the, especially if you're just learning, some of the difficult parts of getting product, especially because we're over in a different country, using importer services help. Having a review list, as I mentioned before, paying for reviews is going to be a thing of the past. If you've got a list of people who you've warmed up through some content, you can have that list ready and waiting to launch, and potentially even give them promotions, or you can even run a promotion as well. So those are the things I would do in every launch strategy. We'll go through that in a future one. All right, so we did walk through quickly what what the reviews were. And I'll run through some of these in future sessions as well. So there's lots and lots to Amazon, but it really is simple to get started. You just need to start. So we run through a little bit more in a future session. Sorry, guys, I was meant to pull some of these things out. So I did run through last week a bit of an update on my products and where they're at. But here is a quick run through of what I'm launching. Probably around about Christmas time is by the time we'll get through these 7 sessions. So my day one ideation was in the physical products, in the health related products, and what I'm launching is a nootropic, which is basically brain drugs. It doesn't look like this just yet, but you get the idea of the type of thing that I'm selling. It's bottles of supplements. Now, it's a difficult market on FBA, but it's certainly a niche worth following. There's a really cool article here that I've got for you guys. Even if you aren't interested in the topic, if you have a look at how they've broken down the topic, it's amazing. You could apply that breakdown to see, what's trending, how you would look at a market. Even if you're in like barbecue goods, you could use the same method they've used here to work out what you can do to serve that market. All right, I'm actually up to day 2. So I've gone through this finding product stage. I actually have some, so I'll just jump back to that. I have some experience in this market already. So I've been through that ideation. I've gone through, I've found things that I like. I've gone and found a market that I understand. I have a list. If you were on my previous session, you would understand how much work has gone into building that list, and the types of things that I've used, and methods and tools and stuff that I've put together over the last year or so to build out a list, and how I'm growing that exponentially. I'm using some hacks at the moment as well. So I've got this list of people who are interested in this type of thing. I've identified where that market is heading and how best to bring a product to that market. So I'm up to day 2 at the moment. So I just want to show you guys something. I got my products, my samples from my manufacturer. I'm super excited. It's opening time. So as I said, I've got some supplements. These were my testers. You can hear there's little pills inside there. What I am doing as part of my minimum viable product is getting samples. So I'm testing out the manufacturer. I'm testing out the shipping part from the manufacturer. I want to see how fast they're getting there, what they're charging for shipping. So you might find with some of your manufacturers, they are fine with samples and stuff like that. It's all great. They might try and hit you up for a fortune for shipping. So I was really happy with this guy, and I've now tested his shipping. So when we go to product and we say, okay, it's when I go a larger quantity, we've got an agreed price, and if they change the model of the shipping, and all of a sudden it's way more, a ridiculous amounts, saying, wait a minute, that's not what we agreed before, and I can see they're doing something wrong. So I've got that as a test. I'm doing supplements. There's a little handwritten note on here what it is, which is hilarious. It's actually, that one doesn't, but I got a few different bottles. It actually has Chinese writing, which is hilarious. That's fine. I've tested this from the manufacturer itself. I've done an external test to test that this is not anything untowards. But what I'm testing here is the sample bottle itself. So I'm seeing that it's a good solid bottle. It's got the tamper-proof stuff on the top, which I'm actually going to open. It's got one of those child-sealed things, so I can actually open it up. And it's got the that foil seal on the top. So if I was getting this and it had the the really beautiful label over the top there, I would think that that's a whole, like, it's not it's not a dodgy product. It's got that tamper-proof seal. It hasn't been opened by someone. It hasn't come from someone unreputable. So these are all the things that I'm testing when I'm going through my day 2. So we'll go through this in a little bit more detail next week. But I was super excited to show you guys. That's where I was up to. My first test on opening this, it's taking a little bit longer than I had hoped. So that would be my first feedback to the guys. Where's that little tab that I can use? It doesn't have the foil inside either. Or the, what do they put in there? That cotton wool. That's another thing we get inside there. The pills are small, which is another test for me. They don't have a strong, they should have a strong smell. They've got those silica absorbent things inside. So all these things that I'm taking note when I'm getting my samples. So my minimum viable product is actually getting some samples and testing them out. I need to test all these things. I need to put my customer hat on and say, what's wrong with this? What do I not like about this? What do I love about this? What's brilliant? What can I legitimately sell this for? What's the value? What's the added value in there? So as I said on the notes, I'll just jump back to the notes so I can show you guys along with where I'm up to. It's all about quality. So if you were happy paying for this, if you were happy paying a little bit more for this, maybe it's all about your marketing and how you would get that to be some kind of high-end brand. It's not just a Me Too product. Next week, I'm going to take you through a few more of the actual steps you can use for samples, but getting samples was super easy. You definitely need to pay to play. So that they are going to want some money for samples. It's usually just for the shipping though. So I didn't pay a hell of a lot for this, but it's a fair bit of work because this guy had to go and actually make me 3 bottles himself. It's not that easy, but for a lot of products, they've just got spares lying around. So it's not product cost for them. It's actually shipping cost. So you can get that done. So I use the Alibaba app, and literally I said, okay, I want 3 bottles, send them out, 1 of each. I want to explore small bags. Actually, I'm trying to test a separate product for there. And basically this took about an hour of back and forth on my phone with Alibaba. And the product was shipped to me about 3 days later. So brilliant. I sent over some money via PayPal, which is covered by PayPal if anything goes wrong. A couple of days later, I had my product. So we're a little bit early on this, which is great. So I was able to actually show you tonight. But next week, we'll go through the actual validation stage, and I'll show you how to put this sample stuff together and what you need to look for to get your product tested. I recently did some coaching with a guy who was trying to bring over some, I don't want to tell you the actual product, but let's say it's in the menswear space. It's about as much as I can think of at the moment. Clothes. It's men's clothes in the men's clothes space. So I was helping him through that process, and he had some deadlines and some quality issues at the sample stage. So what we did with him was actually go through and get 3 to 5 sample quotes. Then we did 3 tests. So of those 5 quotes, we ended up with 3 products that we got tested at the factory. We used a service that went out and actually did those tests. This was before we even got samples sent to us. So they went and tested those, and then we went ahead and got the samples sent to us. So there's definitely different ways of doing this, and I'll go through all of that with you next week. So biggest wins in my Amazon business this year was definitely learning and building a team. And my number 1 goals with this, and we'll go through all of these over the next couple of weeks as well, is scaling this Amazon business to 6 figures. So 1 product, 10 sales a day, $10 profit per sale, and scale. So once we scale that to 10 products, that's $1,000. So obviously $100 per product there. 10 products is $1,000 profit per day. So easily a 6-figure business. And the idea is a simple formula for each product. A product success is if I can get them to 10 sales a day within 3 months, it's a successful product. I'll move on to a new one, or I'll drop it. and also move on to another one. So my one metric that matters, 3 products in 3 months. All right, quick recap from finding your product. Finding when products near and around you and the things that you like is key. It will help you. It'll make it easier for you. It'll get you faster off the ground. Another thing that'll help you with speed in this is using tools. So tools like merchant words to find the total scope of the market, and Jungle Scout to see the actual sales and the numbers around some of the products. All right, so next week, as I said, we'll talk about testing products. I have my products, so I've got all week to test it and come back with some results, which is super cool. We'll talk about competition and testing difficulty, and we're heading towards getting our listing up as well. So we'll get into all of that over the next 4 weeks. And as I said, yep, next week, samples. All right, if you want to chat all things Amazon, you can jump on a free Skype call with me, junglebooster.com/coaching. If you want to grab that, there's also a button on the page where you guys are watching as well at junglebooster.com/live, and you can grab all of the slides from tonight's sessions. So I'm going to jump over to the chat. I don't have a lot of time tonight. I apologize, guys. It has been hectic. I'm super excited. This is awesome stuff, and it's a little bit late for me to do this right now, but I really want to try one of these. Taking random, my wife said to me the other day, "You just like buying random drugs from China? Are you crazy?" Nope. Yes, maybe. I'm gonna take one right now. These things are pretty potent brain drugs, so it's a little bit late for that this evening. So I hope that was helpful, guys. We are meeting every Tuesday night to discuss all things Amazon. We're just getting started. We go through this cycle, this 7-step process. This is my 4th product. This actually be my 5th product listed on Amazon. I have had a couple of flops and I've had a couple of booms as well, which have been awesome. It's coming up to 4th quarter. Sales are already picking up for my 2 of my products, which are great. They're awesome. I'm probably going to sell out of one of those. I'm at the point at the moment where I'm deciding whether I want to restock in now or wait till the sales start and risk losing those last dying days of Christmas sales. If you are looking at getting a product in for 4th quarter and you haven't actually got your first product up yet, you now have to wait till December 30 or 18 or something to send them in, which means they'll miss the Christmas rush. If you are looking to get your product in for the Christmas rush and you already have your product and stuff, you're not stuck out of that embargo, I think you've got till just before Halloween. So probably another week to guarantee that they get there before Christmas, which is crazy. It's like, what's that, a month and a half? But that's what the guys are telling me. That's what Amazon's saying as well. The turnaround times to get things over there, get things through the ports at that time, and then get them actually listed, it's taking Amazon weeks. So if you are looking at getting a product in for that all important Black Friday to Christmas rush, I would be getting them in this week. So that's what I said. I'm at that point at the moment. Do I risk running out of stock, or do I chuck it in now? Anyway, I'll talk about that next week as well. All right, guys, if we had any questions, jump on junglebooster.com/live and I'll answer those questions. I'll leave the chat box open for a little while longer, but I need to jump off this session because I got to jump on my team call. I hope that was useful for you guys. I'm looking forward to taking you through the validation stage next week when we talk about samples. All right, guys, have a great week and I'll see you soon.